Welcome to Flying the Metal Flag. Now, letlive are currently touring Australia as I record this. They're a fantastic unit, and this is their farewell tour. And I was very lucky to speak to Jeff, the guitarist of the band, and this is the interview right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. This is Jeff of letlive on Flying the Metal Flag.
Yo, yo.
G'day there, Jeff. How are you?
Good, my friend. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Well, welcome to this show. It's called Flying the Metal Flag. I know you're probably not a full-on metal band, but yeah, welcome to the show.
Music is
Um,
music. Thanks for having me.
that's right. That's right. So, I've got to say, it's probably a bittersweet moment for you guys doing your final tour and coming
Yes.
to Australia and called Sincerely Yours, which I think is a beautiful title for a final tour.
Oh, thank you.
So, how's it been putting together this tour? Because I guess, in a way, your first tour and your last tour are going to be completely different. This one, obviously, being your final tour, is going to be full of lots of memories.
Yep. Thank full of memories and full of substantial amount of emotion as well, and energy. But I don't know. But I think what's most important is the levels of thankfulness that we have, both for our friends and our fan base and anybody who's really supported the movement from the jump. So as you said, it's definitely very surreal, bittersweet. But everybody's happy. Everybody's in great spirits. These are some of the best times, we're experiencing in our lives, and we're so lucky to still be able to be doing what we do, and having the opportunity to share that with everybody. So, um, we definitely titled it "Sincerely Yours." We thought that was a very sincere, genuine, captivating kind of departure, quote unquote, statement for the finalization of all this. So we're very happy to be here and stoked.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love the title. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Was it
thank you.
was there a temptation to actually record a final album before this tour?
Of course there was that'll we're creators, we're musicians and artists, and all we ever want to do is make music and create. And of course, those conversations have come up in our camp. But nothing ever set in stone. We've made no promises. I think currently no promises. I think what is most important for all of us right now is contributing and staying semi-focused, or not even like fully focused, to this chapter in all of our lives right now, and really delivering and giving it everything we have into today without the pressures of any sort of like future endeavors whatsoever right now. We felt like a lot of that would be kind of unfair to today, if that makes any sense. So yeah, nothing in the books as of right now. We're still approaching it as one final kind of hurrah, if you will.
No, that makes a lot of sense because it probably is difficult too, considering the fact that you never know where a new album would lead you anyway. Because people would
Yeah,
probably want you to tour more on that, wouldn't they?
of course. And you don't really ever know where life's leading you in general. I think waking up, getting the opportunity to wake up every day is blessings in all of our lives. We're very lucky to be able to do that. So yeah, you never really know. Just make the most of every day and every minute that you have right now. And we've learned to appreciate that.
Plus, during your album cycle too, you were definitely a band that grew with every release. It would be very hard to cap off your last album. I mean, I know it's nearly 10 years ago, but very,
Yeah,
very hard to cap off If I'm the Devil.
yeah, I know. What a crazy time in our life. Like I've been I've been listening to that record more recently, and just kind of a lot of what we're doing right now is just a great reflection. Even when we're in rooms together, we just talk about like the good old days, and this and that, and repeating some stories, and just a lot of laughter and joy, and everything just been so positive. And again, as crazy as the process may have been in the last, our last release on the devil and stuff like that, it was still significant times in all of our lives, whether that was positive or negative. I think we all learned so much from that. Um, and as artists and even band, we're grateful to have put a stamp on that catalog, even with that album. However it was received, is we're very lucky to be able to have done that. So,
Oh, it's a
yeah,
beautiful album. And I think one thing that was a definite strength about your band was that you covered so many different genres with your music as well. Every song was different than the last, wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely, super dynamic collection.
Yeah.
There's very dynamic personalities in the studio as well. Like during, you know, the creation of all of that, everybody was in a different place in life in general. So I think we somehow we somehow pulled that off. But we're grateful for that, because I think every portion of every song in that catalog holds a memory dear to our heart. Like when you play a record and it just has like a timestamp on it, almost like a yearbook, and it takes you back to a specific time of when you first heard it, or the moment where like the adrenaline pumped the hair up, above your skin, and you had that feeling. Um, Me personally, like I always remember where I was, what I was doing, what life was like when I first heard that particular section of a song or a composition. So that's all over that record for us personally, because a lot of good times and a lot of great energy was collected on that, but also a lot of dark times and a lot of complexity in our personal growth and things like that also hold suit on that collection as well. So as you said, I think there's so many different elements. It's super dynamic in ways of emotion and professionalism and musicianship and creativity that reside in that record alone. And I still feel that till today. So, but
Oh, beautiful.
as no matter what, there's no negative reflections that show face off of that at all. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So with that, being so many different genres, who have been your influences as a guitarist?
Oh my God, that's such a heavy question. Like I grew up in pop music,
Oh,
mostly my
yes.
life, or like the Christian punk rock scene back in the day. Listen to bands, like No Effects or Pennywise or MXPX or and POD. But then I also listened to like Fleetwood Mac or Blondie, or even presently listening to like old Weekend records or a Post Malone record, which is tapped into a countryside of things. But I still bump the newest Straight from the Path album, or I grew up listening to Slash from Guns N' Roses, or Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac was an influence. Um, Matt Bellamy from The Muse. I mean, it's John Mayer. So many elements of music. I was never particular to one specific genre of guitar. I think for me, it was always whenever I wanted to hear something, whenever something stuck out to me, I loved it. I listened to all their records and their songs growing up, and I did that. So yeah, that's a hard one. It's a very hard, hard. Yeah,
I think you answered it well, mate.
no, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah, because there's so many influences in your music, so it shows. So
yeah.
what about your projects for the future? Have you got any at the moment, actually in line?
Yeah, I started a new project a bit ago called Erase Theory. I dropped two EPs, and then a lot of things kind of came to a halt because of the Let Live, everything in Let Live, and then trying to hold down a job at the same time. I had to kind of shift my focus for a second and just do that. But as we speak, I'm set up right now, working on another album for Erase Theory alongside with everything else I have going on in my life. So it's it's therapeutic and fun for me. And I've been creating music since I was a kid, and I wouldn't really know what life would be like without it. Um, Despite the levels of quote unquote success that anything ever reaches, I think I've learned even as I'm getting older, just what's most important is that I continue to create and share it with whoever's willing to listen. And it just delivers, sincere levels of joy and happiness into my world. Because without it, it's a very stale vanilla. kind of life that I would kind of live without having the presence of music and art in my world. So erase theory has been my escape and from the reality of most things that life has to offer as I'm adulting and figuring out, life like everybody else and how to do it. And we're all here doing the same thing. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we look forward to hearing it when it's complete because you
Yeah. Thank
are an
you.
awesome guitarist. So,
Oh, thank you so much.
and
I
um,
appreciate
and we're looking forward to the tour because it is going to be a
it.
special tour. Sure.
Yes. Please make sure you come out. Definitely going to be a great time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's going to be huge. I mean, you
Oh, yeah.
guys are probably going to deliver, as I said, you're going to deliver probably more so ever than before, I guess, because yeah, it's
It's
one of those
just a
things. I don't know what a last tour is like, but it seems like one of those things where you've it's much different than anything else, isn't it?
true. Yeah, it really is. It feels good. It's still the most, it's still the chaotic, energized, form of performance that we have with no future planning or anything like that. We're just a couple of dudes that get on stage and just do what we do, and we love what we do. But I think this time it's a little more special. Just having vast appreciation, levels of appreciation for what we do, and to be able to still be able to fly, the opportunity to fly to Australia to still play our music is crazy. Um, we're so happy, and your region of the world has always been so sweet, sincere, and supportive of us. It's been unconditional love from the first time we ever stepped foot on your soil. So we're so fucking stoked. Like the next, what do we have, 2 or 3 weeks left? It's just taking forever. So I'm sitting here trying to find, like, how do I get there the fastest way possible? So it's kind of what the focus has been right now. Just staying busy and killing. Yeah.
I think our biggest problem is we're too isolated from the rest of the world. We're too far
Yeah.
away.
It is, but yet still so close and still so beautiful. It's one of my most favorite places in all of the world. So
Oh, thank you.
very, very, very lucky to be able to be going there and playing music. So yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the tour, of course, is going to happen well, you're playing Melbourne, which is my capital city of my state, because I'm here in Geelong, which is about an hour away from Melbourne, on the
Okay.
7th of September. So it
Yep.
really isn't that far away.
Nope. We have three
But
weeks
yeah, about
about.
Max Watts, which is a great place to play. It's a really good yeah, joint to play. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome, man. And I know you only recorded a few albums, but I tell you what, they're worth their weight in gold.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, the responses right now have been cool, and you get this whole new generation, this new era, like discovering the material, which has been super exciting. And hearing people say they listen to the record for the first time or discovering us now, and especially with this climate of life and everything going on globally, is such an awesome thing to hear. So we're still happy that our music is still reaching uh, people in general. It's fucking cool. Like all of this is really cool.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
it's
And
awesome.
I think you're going to do the same with the Razor Theory as well, I think.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm just enjoying myself. I think that's what's most fun. Just enjoying the art and making sure that's top priority before anything else. Any sort of business or financial reasoning or anything like that. I think it's just finding a peaceful place and an outlet to be able to express yourself and share it with your friends. And that comes first. So that's where we're at right now. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's what we want to hear. Because
Yeah,
that's
of
what
course.
I mean. I feel that music is probably the world's oldest art form. I
Yeah.
think I mean I think we were playing, probably playing drums, beating the drums and singing before we were doing painting and writing. Well, definitely writing because writing didn't happen until a
Yeah,
lot later. But yeah, but I think music is the oldest art form. So
it
we
is. It really is.
um I don't think we should ever take it for granted.
No, I don't think so. And a lot of, our internal conversations right now, even coming back together. And, I spent a lot of time, I spent nearly half a decade just away from the business and whatnot. When Let Live was almost like the last era of band that was selling physical units in stores and at the merch tables and festivals and shows, et cetera, et cetera. And now we don't really have that. Everything is stream culture and everything is, in a way shifted and monopolized the industry and distribution of our art and things like that. And it's kind of a topic of for me to kind of dive into like what is really the substance or the essence of why people are still creating these days? Is it just for specific goals in number or to get yourself on a specific playlist just so you can post on your socials that you gained 100,000 streams? Is that what's most important to the artist now? Because we
Yeah,
face, it's maybe it's not, we practiced every day, every other day. We had part-time jobs that were aligned with our schedules to the band, so we can practice two, three, four, 5 times a week. Versus now, maybe I'm not really sure. Again, forgive me, maybe I'm disconnected, and this is by no means no disrespect to how anybody else approaches their business model or their art or their creative aspects of their life. Or it's just my opinion of just seeing the transformity and like where the industry has shifted and where the focus is. Whereas, we were very diligent on like becoming professionals at our craft and putting the hours in and the time versus now sometimes it's more about the content you're creating and can everybody get together for one day a week to create content that you can schedule to drop for the rest of the week and then making sure that your laptop, functions properly versus actually playing your instrument in front of people and knowing that like we're human and sometimes it's okay to make mistakes and sometimes the best elements in songwriting come from the mistakes that you make. And I think a lot of people now don't really see that. And not even just in music, it expands into like careers or relationships and families and friendships. And sometimes I have this misalignment, or maybe my view is a little misaligned on like where is the substance in our world and the true love and appreciation for the art. And where did the mystique go in the artist? Sometimes also is another debate that I have with a lot of people too, where everything is in front of your face. Everybody is an artist now, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody's got something to say. And um, if you're not posting 4 or 5 times a day, and your numbers aren't in a specific reach, sometimes it's hard for you to gain meetings with specific A&R reps or labels or distribution companies or um, and it never used to be like that. Sometimes it was even with your race theory, approaching different entities in the business and trying to get them to listen to my music because that's just what I'm used to. It's always about what does your content look like and what are your numbers like? And I'm like, well, I just wrote a whole record and it took me months and months and months and months and months to create this. Do you not give a fuck to listen
yeah,
to it? Like, yeah, music's cool. We just want to know what the content looks like. And
yeah,
so sometimes it's trying to mentally find the balance of where the focus is exactly and where art is going and moving and shifting. And um, it's very challenging to do that, but also a huge learning experience for me on how to approach things now. Because in some ways, in shape or form, you got to adapt to that just the same, right? Unless you're just the old has been that nobody wants to fuck with because your TikTok numbers are not sitting at like 1,000 views a day. Um, where sometimes I'm so tapped into what I do that sometimes I don't really have a care to turn a camera on to show everybody what I'm doing in a room because I'm just in a moment with my music. And I would hate to stop a session to turn on my camera or GoPro to kind of put on a face and fake it, just to have something to post so people feel like I'm relevant. That's controversial, of course. Like I couldn't convince my younger cousins what I'm telling you right now. They'll think I'm crazy because to them, it is about stopping and posting the videos if you want to make it in this world. But it's such a different time. And
it is, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where everything shifts because I do think there are a lot of people out there in the world who maybe are hungry for something else because it's been the same repetitive cycle for such a long time. And I would hope that people create something maybe with a little more essence and substance and a little more artistic value that stands behind it versus chasing content and a stream count. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I hope that day comes too, because I'm not into streaming music myself. I've got to buy CD and vinyl because yeah,
yeah, I
because
miss
the
it by
album is the album, you know.
yeah.
It's not something through a computer.
No, I know. I miss the journeys. I miss starting a record from front to back, and maybe even not
Yeah.
seeing their face, and not knowing who was behind this, and having to go to a show to discover them, speak, and research a little more, and reading the
Yeah.
books. And but I think the attention span of most people these days is so minimized, and if anything, it's still finding ways to even become faster and more minimal than it currently stands today. So a lot of challenges in a lot of ways. But again, I think with Let Live and what we're doing now, we would hope to cause implement any sort of resurgence of having the focus shift to the art and the music first. And it's something that we'd love to focus on. So, to each their own. Um, that's where we are, right? It's crazy.
That's right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my last question is always, what's the best thing about metal? So I think I might rephrase it to what's the best thing about music for you?
I think it's the outlet that I'm given to express myself. It's the best therapy to me personally that the world can ever offer. I couldn't pay anybody to sit in a room and vent the way that I do in my room for free, playing my music, sonically and lyrically. And it's where I come to the most peace um, in my life, no matter what the stresses in this world can deliver into my home, especially with me taking a break from music and entering like the corporate world and watching how those people live and their formulas, what the formulas of success are in that realm of life. And music now has always been my escape to make sure that I'm always leveled. And that's the balance in my life that enables me to continue to do my job sometimes to keep a roof above my head because I have to, because I'm a human being and that's how I eat food right now. But I need music to keep smiling and laughing, and it's enabling me to do what I love to do and share it with all of my friends. So it's a very therapeutic form of life for me personally.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the band
Yeah,
is Let Live. They're touring Australia, playing Melbourne on the 7th of September at Max
yeah,
Watts. It's going to be a huge show. So sincerely yours, we thank you.
of
And
course. Thank you.
and we thank you for your music and everything that you've done for Let Live. And we wish you and the band the very best with not only this tour but future endeavors. Of course, a Razor's Theory, I think, is going to do great numbers. So thank you very much for your time, Jeff.
Appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Thanks,
No
man.
worries. See you, mate. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this interview here on Flying the Metal Flag. I really hope you enjoyed it, and so does Ben. So we would greatly appreciate it if you click the like button, or even better, subscribe to this channel because there's so many interviews that are coming soon. So please stick around for them and even more, and even the ones that are here already. So please take care and keep it excessive, but most of all, let your metal flag fly high.